Well, hello again. So, yesterday we started a conversation about the reasons why turnaround projects, major maintenance projects in active brownfield facilities, are not PMBOK project management challenges. And to get us started, we talked about the role of operations and the piece that operations would need to play in your execution schedule if that execution schedule was to have any meaning whatsoever. Along with that conversation about operations isn't just the operators. Did you involve the OHS&E team for that facility? Because if you did not, many of the things that might be sitting in your plan probably aren't going to happen, or certainly aren't going to happen with the type of streamline efficiency that you would need to achieve to be successful. So additional to that would be the safe work practices for the site that you happen to be working on, and of course the safety manager for that site, regardless of whether he's named manager or specialist or whatever he happens to be called. Was he involved in vetting your plans? Understanding now, as we do, that your permit to work each day is going to come from an operator, do you understand the logistics of operator permitting with 700, 800, 1,000 men on site? We are talking about a limited resource on any site that exists. Did you build that into your execution plan? Because I'll tell you what, if you didn't build just those permitting understandings into your execution plan, then your plan is a fail in less than 15 minutes after execution begins. That I absolutely promise you. Today I want to touch on another aspect of turnaround management that strictly PMBOK project management's not going to give us a great deal of help with, and that's the aspect of found work. There will always be found work, and some of the found work will turn out to be more important to the client than what you have on your schedule. The client's ideal is that you will finish 100% of all the work that's on the schedule, and you will finish the found work. And if you're working in a relatively new facility and the found work's only going to add up to, 5 or 7 or 10%, good for you. That's great. If you're working in an older facility or a facility that's been maintenance neglected for even a very short period of time, the found work could easily pass 20% of what will eventually become your total work for the event. Are you prepared to cope with that? Is your scheduler prepared to cope with that? If you've been following the advice of community of practice, if you follow the NAVEX model, you're using DSM scheduling, and your scheduler just became the most important person on site today. If, on the other hand, you're using a very accomplished, very well experienced PMP scheduler who hasn't ever worked in this kind of environment, well, we call that lost far from home. You're not going to have a great deal of success. The hows and whys, this is true when you have a true dynamic turnaround scheduler on your side, are better explained in some of the other members of the NAVEX team from my own insight. I know as a turnaround manager that if I don't have an accomplished dynamic scheduling team on my side, Within the first day, found work alone will break me. You can't wing it. Everything has to be scheduled. Everything has to be explained. You can't just hope for the best. We're going to talk tomorrow a little bit more about the cost drivers that also really separate us from the strictly PMBOK project management situation. But for today, just a good thing to keep in mind if you are new to this world, or if you're sitting on the outside wondering why turnaround experts are always referring to what they do. Turnaround managers aren't PMBOK managers. Turnaround schedulers aren't PMBOK schedulers. Turnaround planners aren't work management planners. Why do we keep saying those things? So this is what we're trying to explain in this series. And, for today, we just want to have an understanding of what it looks like to your project when you take on 20% or more in new work due to found work that has to be completed. You have to figure out a way to get that done. You have to be scheduled in such a way that you can go with that you can do what your client's going to need you to do. That 20% number is not out of line in a lot of our Western Canadian aging infrastructure. Most of you have experienced it in the past, and if you're convinced you're not going to experience it in your next outage, there's another term for that, and we'll talk after you come out of that outage. Anyway, thank you for your time, and I'll check back again tomorrow.